Hey guys, just going to give you a quick run through on how to set up your Excel sheet for the investigation. Once you've downloaded this from Compass, you're going to want to make sure that you get rid of any of these like zero entries where a student might have been away. So if we just go through and if we right click on the left and then delete, we should be able to get rid of any students who were away. So I'm just going to quickly do that. You can see that that's all gone now. Similarly here, oh, wrong thing. Delete, delete. So yeah, or alternatively, if it's like this set here, if it's people from our class and you want to fill it in, potentially you can. But for the most part, we're just gonna save time. We just want to get this done. So we're just gonna delete the data for the students who are there, because otherwise, when we start, finding the mean, the median, the mode, the range, when we start creating graphs, etc., it's going to treat these missing values as zeros, which is a problem. Okay, cool. So that should now reflect a that should now reflect complete data. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these gaps. Oh. Hey. They are. Sorry. Just had to make a quick cut there. As I was saying, we're going to make a scatter plot now. So selecting all of our data for our heights and our shoe sizes, and we are going to insert scatter plot. Now, this looks okay, but I need some titles. So I'm going to add chart element axis titles for my two axes. Make sure you guys give them appropriate titles. Hopefully you can see that on the x-axis, in this case, I've got my student heights, remember what we measured them in, and then on the y-axis we've got shoe sizes, which should be in European shoe sizes. Now, oh, where'd the graph go? There it is. Okay, and then yeah, an appropriate title as well. We're also going to want to add in a trend line, so line of best fit. So if we go down here to trend line, and we're looking at, in this course, we're looking at a linear relationship. Cool. And we can even, if it's going to let me select the trend line, we should even be able to click this button here, display equation on chart. Let's move that over there. So that's nice. Now, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, that's horrible to read, you're right. We need to fix that. So we're gonna double click on the. Sorry, I did that a bit fast. Select the y-axis and then double click on it, and you can see none of my values really fall much below like 30 to 35. So I'm just going to sort of test it. If I started my y-axis at 33, yeah, that's a bit better. I could even go to 35, it looks like, in my case. Then if we get out of that, and we're going to do the same with the student heights. So we're going to start at, so instead of starting at 0, it looks like I could almost start at 150. Let's start at 140. Cool. And in this case, even my maximum might be slightly too high. We might be able to drop that down to like 195. And we might bring this up to 145. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Awesome. Okay. So now we've got a scatter plot that's actually readable. You can actually write a discussion about this, which is much better. Just make sure, like I said, that you fill in the titles. I'm showing you guys plenty. I'm sure you can work out what titles to write. Okay. Now we're going to do some statistical analysis. So we're going to have two sections. We're going to have the student heights, and we will merge and center that bit there. And then we're going to have mean, median, mode, max, min, range. How did that just change the data? Why is that? Okay. let's get rid of that. That should not be affecting the data. Let's do it down here and see if it behaves a little better. So for the heights, student heights, we've actually got a nice list here already. So I'm just going to put that there. And then this will be for the heights. Cool. And then we also want to do it for the shoe size. Value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. I think you guys are getting a different Excel sheet to what I'm working with here. So hopefully you guys aren't having said issue. The only way I can see this working for me at the moment is to set it up like this. Okay. For mean, we do equals average, double click that, and then we're just going to select. For this one, I'm doing the shoe sizes. So I'm just going to select all the shoe size data, enter, and that's done. For mode, equals mode, and actually, if you've got that bottom option, just do that one. If you have to pick one of them, do multiple, because there could be more than one mode. When you had like the single versus multiple option there. If we do that, we get a mode of 158 equals range. Oh, sorry. Before we do that, let's do equals min. It might be minimum on yours. Yours might be slightly older. Operating system, enter. And then we should have a maximum equals max. Select all of this. Cool. And then for the range, we're just going to equals the maximum minus the minimum. And for the median, there is quite literally a function for this. So we're just going to select all of my data, enter. And then for Q1, we're going to do equals quartile including, and then select the data. And then this is going to be for quartile 1. So we're going to do comma, and then I'm just going to literally click that option, quartile 1, close the brackets, enter. We're going to do the same thing here, equals quartile, select my array, which is just all of the data that I want. So for these ones, I'm doing all of the heights, and then comma. This time we want the third quartile. The second quartile is the median, by the way. And then interquartile range is equal to Q3 minus Q1, enter. And that is all done. You're going to want to do the same thing for the shoe size. So in the interest of keeping this video short, I'm not going to do all of them, but it's the same process, except now you'll be selecting the shoe size data. Okay, so select them, press enter, and then just do the exact same thing we did for the heights, but here. All right, and last but not least, I want some box plots. So copy that. And then if we go to, I've just literally Googled box plot maker. You can do this in Microsoft Excel, but I'm just gonna show you guys how to do it here. I think it's probably a little bit easier. Paste all the data there. So just to be clear, sorry, I selected all the height data and pressed copy, like Control C, copy, and then over here, Control V, paste. I'm going to make my box plot horizontal. That's what I wanted. We are going to give it a title. So in this case, I've got, hang on, has data not worked? Just try that again. Maybe it didn't like that. Copy, paste. Okay, no, it's worked. Yeah, not sure what happened there. Maybe because I changed the orientation, if it defaulted it. All right, and then we'll just put a title. So this is going to be Year 12 student height distribution. If I can spell. student height distribution, and then calculate. Cool. And I could just take a screenshot of this, like you can use the snipping tool, take a screenshot of it, or you can should even be able to just download it. And then if I minimize this, go down here, I'm going to put the image in. If you guys, obviously your computer system will look a little bit different. So up here, if you go insert, picture, and then place over cells, and then, picture from file if you downloaded it, or if you just snipped it, then you can copy paste it in. If you have any troubles with like copying and pasting the photos in, let me know. But yeah, we're doing one here for the student heights, and then you'll do one here as well for the shoe sizes. And then once you've done all of that, you should be good to go. If there's anything I'm forgetting, I'll go over it in class, but that should be most of it. Best of luck, guys. Thanks for listening.